So today we're going to be looking more at word problems using bearings. So one thing I just want to tell you about before we get started. If you are asked how far something is north or south of another thing, you're looking for the vertical side. Now that's because the north-south line is vertical. If they are asking you to find how far something is east or west of something else, then you're looking for the horizontal side because the east-west line is horizontal. Okay, so we're going to look at two examples in the first video. So the first one is a yacht leaves Sydney and sails 120 kilometres on a bearing of 080 degrees. Okay, so I've drawn up the compass rose over here and we're going to start drawing this. So remember, we have to do the bearing first so we know which direction we're heading. So it's 080 degrees, which is just 80. So starting north, go clockwise 80 degrees, and you will still be in this quadrant because you haven't gone around as far as 90. So draw your line. You are sailing, leaving Sydney, and it's 120 kilometres. So here's Sydney in the middle. That is the start of your trip. You're sailing 120 kilometres in that direction. Okay, now it starts to ask the questions here. How far north of Sydney is the yacht? Well, this is where the yacht is now. Now, it's not directly north of Sydney, but it is in the direction of north and east of Sydney. So what they want you to do is form a right angle triangle. At the moment, we've got the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle. So you can either draw your line that way, or you can draw your line that way. You just have to meet up with the compass rose by drawing either a vertical or a horizontal line. So I'm going to draw mine in this direction and form my right angle there. So now you can see my right angle triangle. Now, the reason I drew it that direction was because I knew that if I drew it that way, that angle would be included inside the triangle and I wouldn't need to be finding angles inside the triangle. If you had have drawn it down this direction, then you wouldn't have any angles inside the triangle and you would have had to have found this one, which is 10 degrees. It's not difficult, it's 90 minus 80, but why do extra work? So I've drawn it that way. Now, the question says, how far north? So remember, north or south is a vertical line. So this is what they want to know. So we're going to put our X there because that's what they're asking for. So now we'll label our sides. This one's the hypotenuse. This one's your adjacent side. So we're using cos. So cos theta equals A over H. Cos 80 degrees equals X over 120. Then we're getting rid of our 120 by coming over here and timesing by it. Put it in your calculator and round it off like they asked to the nearest kilometre. So you will get 21 kilometres for that answer. Now the next question asks for the bearing of Sydney from the yacht. Remember, whatever's written after the word from is in the middle of the compass. So our yacht must be in the middle of the compass. And as you can see, our yacht is not in the middle of the compass. So I'm going to get a different coloured pen and draw up a compass where the yacht is in the middle of the compass. So now we're going to get the bearing of Sydney. So we're going to start on our new compass here, go from north clockwise till we get that line heading off to Sydney, and that's the angle we're trying to find for our bearing. That's what we're trying to find down here. So now to get it, if we find this little angle in here, this little piece in here, if you have a look at your two north-south lines, they're both vertical, so they're parallel. Now if you look sideways at it, go around that 80 degrees and around the little angle I'm looking for, you'll see that they are alternate angles because they're forming that Z shape, and alternate angles are equal in parallel lines. So we know that that piece there is 80 degrees. So to get my bearing, I'm going to add 180 from north to south plus that 80. So 180 plus 80, do your working for it so they can see what you're doing. And you'll end up with 260 degrees for your bearing. It is a 3-digit angle, so that's fine. Now looking at the second example, Declan leaves Nyngan and drives 204 kilometres to Bourke. So he's going on a trip and he's leaving Nyngan. So he starts his journey at Nyngan. Now he's driving in the direction 323 degrees. So we're going from north, clockwise, 323 degrees. So he's going off in that direction. So that's 270 to there. We're going a bit further to 323 degrees. And off he drives in that direction. He's driving for 204 kilometres. You can put your distance on now. And that's all we've got for information. So that is going to be the hypotenuse of your right angled triangle. You need to either draw across or down. So either horizontally across or vertically down to meet up with your compass rose. Now, in this one, we don't actually have any angles that will be definitely inside the triangle, so it really depends which angle you feel like finding. Do you feel like finding this one here? Or do you feel like finding this one here? I think I like that one, so I'm going to do this way. So there's my triangle. Now the question says, how far north of Nyngan is Bourke? Remember he drove from Nyngan to Bourke, so we'll just write Bourke here. So we want to know how far north. North-south is a vertical line. We're looking for the vertical line in the triangle. So I'm going to write an X there. And you can see in this triangle, the angle that we need to use in the triangle, the best one is going to be this one because it's close to the compass rose here. It's close to the angle we've got. This will be a lot harder to find up here, so we're going to try and find that one. So I'll just mark it in red and just move out here without working. So if I went all the way around the revolution there, it would be 360. So if I take this bit off, I'll do 360, take away 323. That should give me that little piece that's left. Okay, so we end up with 37 degrees in that spot there. Okay, now we'll label our sides. This is our hypotenuse and this is our adjacent. So we're using cos. So we're going to do cos theta equals A over H. Cos 37 degrees equals X over 204. We're getting rid of our 204. Getting rid of the divided by 204 by timesing by over here. Put it all in the calculator, round off to the nearest kilometre like they asked, and it's 163 kilometres. In the next question, we're doing the bearing from Bourke. Remember, Bourke must be in the middle of the compass because it's after the word from. So again, we're drawing up a new compass where Bourke is in the middle with a different colour. And we're going to find the bearing. So we start at north on our new compass, go clockwise to hit the line, and that's the angle that we're trying to find for our bearing to answer the question. So, to get this bearing here, we now need to know what this little angle is in this spot. So, to find that little piece there, there's 180 degrees in your triangle. We've got 90 here, we've got 37 here, and we're trying to find the other one. So you should be able to do that. I'm going to do it the quicker way. If that's 90, these two must add up to 90. So I'm going to do 90, take away 37. And that will give me 53 degrees in that spot. So to get my bearing, I'm going to do from north to east is 90. Add on my 53 degrees. And that will give me my 3-digit bearing answer of 143 degrees. So we're coming back in the next video to do 3 more examples on this work.